Hi there, and welcome back to Kira Discusses, a podcast where we discuss pop culture through the perspective of women of color artists and animators. My name is Shayla Simons, and I'll be one of your hosts for the show. Joining me are my co-hosts are Francesca, aka Miki Callander, Darian Blanchett, and Deanna Mongarai. You can call Miki the mother of our group, even though she definitely resents that, as well as a black female animator and gamer. I had the privilege of not only going to school with her, but also she was my roommate for 3 years. Our friend, Darian Blanchett, is also an avid gamer and lover of Final Fantasy. And Deanna Mongarai is an illustrator with a passion for anime and probably someone you would be awarded the Real Life Shoujo Protagonist Award if there was an award like that out there. We will also have our own friends and guests in between to help us discuss different topics we enjoy as they come. And this week on our show, we will have our good friend Chloe Baylor, aka SNOTNOSEDBAT, as she's known on Instagram and TikTok, to discuss a variety of topics ranging from social media to body image. So stay tuned and enjoy the show. Hey y'all, welcome to our third episode of Kira Discusses. My name is Shayla.
And my name is Deanna.
My name is Darian.
My name is Miki.
And today on our show, I told y'all last week that we had a special surprise for y'all. And our surprise is we have our very first guest on our podcast. So we know this person. She's a friend from college. She graduated from ECU, East Carolina University, just like us, with a degree in animation and interactive design, as well as I consider her social media presence on Instagram, the one I mostly see, and on TikTok. But her Instagram presence, I love her presence. She's a Black woman, and she dresses in a lot of kawaii pink aesthetic, which is fantastic, as well as she's an overall fun person, and her aesthetic I would totally die for. So I would love for y'all to please welcome Chloe, also known as SNOTNOSEDBAT.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here.
Hey, Chloe, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So we're really excited for you to be our first guest. And like I was saying earlier, just really chill. We're just going to talk about whatever we want to talk about, and just see where the evening, or in this case, wherever you guys are listening, takes us. So our first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some news. The only news that I really have, because I literally started a job this week, is that we talked last week that PlayStation was going to reveal the specs and the games that are coming to PlayStation 5. They were supposed to do it on June 6th, but then it got canceled and rescheduled for an indefinite time as of right now, due to the protests and riots happening for Black Lives Matter. And honestly, I think it was a great move. I'm like, I think it would have been kind of insensitive for them to continue on doing the release. I think that was a smart business move on them to know the time and place to release their stuff. And also, we have a couple of months until November when I think the PlayStation 5 will be released. So yeah, anyone have any thoughts about that?
I think that was a good business move. That was really a good business move, because it's better to focus on the matter at hand. And I did see that, I think that I can't remember if PlayStation was also going to make a donation towards the movement, but it does show that they're paying attention to the news, and it shows that they're at least aware.
Yeah, which I'm really happy about with most companies right now. Most companies are understanding what's going on, and they're taking it very seriously. So they're either been making statements towards their company, or just go ahead and donating money to different causes like the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, and other fund and fundraising cause, which is really great. It shows that they're not silent, which we talked about last week, which was talking about companies that were at the time majorly staying silent because we assumed they didn't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. But I think now we're seeing
NFL.
What?
I said NFL.
Oh yeah,
Felt that
right. Oh, like in my new job, they mostly have ESPN on, and so I have been seeing some stuff about how like they're not talking about it and like they're addressing what would happen if their players took a knee and stuff, and they're just like someone comes to you like we're not down for that shit, and other companies are like we totally understand, we're in solidarity. But for the most part, the NFL has not released a statement which is kind of trash. So
Yeah.
I
but
mean, it's what it's expected. It's a damn shame,
Honestly,
though.
yeah, because look what happened with Colin Kaepernick. I mean,
yeah.
I said honestly, look what happened with Colin Kaepernick. So I'm just saying this.
I think it's just more the fact that they're trying to teach us how to protest our own issues, which is just kind of bullshit. Pardon my language for that.
No, it's okay. You can curse.
Mhm.
You can curse.
Okay, then it's bullshit.
Yeah, and at one time I was concerned about Fashion Nova because we did talk about Fashion Nova and how they love to like stand on Black culture and like use Black culture as their branding and stuff. And I got really concerned because I wasn't hearing from them. But then I got an email from them with a statement, and I'm like, well, I don't follow them on Instagram or anything, but I'm sitting here like, you email your statement rather than on social media platforms that I haven't seen. That's a bit concerning to me.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, I got like an email like Friday about it, and I was like, huh, interesting. And I would think I would feel like I would see it online, but I haven't. But yeah, I think I'm happy that there are companies out there that are doing the right thing and doing what they're supposed to do, and do the right thing, stand in solidarity and promote Black Lives Matter and the protests and asking for justice. I think that's the right move. Even like I hope that it's good intention behind it, but overall I think it's a good move to pull, whether it's for the marketing or not, because people are looking to these companies, whether Black or white, to see where they stand. And so I'm just like, good on them. Let's for the most part continue what you're doing and don't just stop because it's a trend, quote unquote. It's not a trend, but you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about like gaming consoles and such. The last PlayStation I had is the original PlayStation.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
But I've been like really submerged in like beauty world and with fashion. I actually just looked up Fashion Nova. I don't see a statement by them or Instagram.
Well, they
has
sent
been
it to me. I'll forward it. I'll put it in the group chat. But like they did send out a statement, but like I mean they emailed it to people. So I mean could be what they're trying to do. But I mean,
yeah, it almost seems more like secretive. I wish that they had like, done it more publicly.
Exactly.
Yeah, that kind of happened as well. When it was early on, I got emails from Uber, like just saying that they stand in solidarity. And before, when COVID-19 first broke out in the States, saying how they were partnering with, I think they were partnering with Clorox to make sure that the drivers were being extra safe when picking up people. But it also kind of made me think, I'd like to see a commercial about this, maybe that's me just asking too much, but at the same time, like, I feel like in some ways, I kind of feel like if people receiving, maybe they thought people receiving emails would be like more personal, but then again, it's kind of like,
it's not as powerful a message as saying it publicly, like actually saying it out loud, versus just sending an email, probably just like an automatic email at this rate.
Right. I don't know. I mean, but I don't know. It's like you get companies like Fashion Nova that do send out their message in an email, or you get companies that are doing social media posts saying they're in solidarity for Black people and Black employees, but you come to find out that they've been really shitty in the past towards their Black employees and Black people.
Yeah.
And L'Oreal released a statement, and then I forgot her name, but a model came out and said that when she spoke out about racism like 5 years ago, they dropped her ass for talking about it, and it's like.
I remember. It was during 2017. they basically stopped her contract with L'Oreal, but then they released that, and she was just basically like, "How dare you?"
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what side. I honestly don't. I think what's worse is that if you're coming out saying you're in quote unquote solidarity, but you've had past instances where you probably were owned by a racist company, or you've in the past fired people of color because they stood or standed for a certain issue. It's like, I don't know. Actually, that's a good discussion point. What do you think that? What is worse, or is it worse, or are they just like, you know?
I mean, you mentioned like you said, Uber made a statement, but if you look at who Uber supports, they're Trump supporters.
Yeah,
that's very true.
So they might be like, "Oh, Black Lives Matter," but you're supporting a person who probably doesn't agree with that statement. It's just it's PR stunt at that point, so they don't look bad to their reputation.
It's just a matter of trying to differentiate between whether they're just trying to look good, considering the political climate, versus just saying how they actually feel about the situation.
That's been something that I've been worried about too. Just a slight shift in. There's not a specific source that I've been exactly getting this from, but this is just a slight shift in one of the pieces of news that I have, but it relates to this. I've been noticing that there have been quite a few animation companies or people who work at these companies that are asking, "Hey, Black animators or Black artists or people of color artists or whatever, if you're in the industry and you want a portfolio review, or all of a sudden they're opening up positions for specifically Black artists and animators, please email us your demo reel, show us your portfolio, and we'll try to get back to you, or we'll put in a good word." That's been something that's been honestly really bothering me, because it's kind of like, now you want
like, why would you do this now all of a sudden?
Right. And then this one woman, I forgot her name. I keep thinking on people, but like this one woman, she released a whole Twitter slam of like almost all the animation companies and what they did to her as a Black woman. Like literally Cartoon Network. Like, well, first just about all of them except Nickelodeon. She said Nickelodeon's fine because she hasn't worked for them yet, but just about everybody else, Disney television animation, Cartoon Network, Netflix or something like that. She posted a Twitter slam on all of them, how like she would let her do unpaid storyboard tests, do overtime for her work, and never got paid for it. Almost got paid under union prices because and was like, I think they were like almost like guilt tripping her. It's like, hey, sorry, we have other people to pay for. We really can't give you union standard prices. It's like, that's real shady. And like when I was reading that, I was like, it made me depressed as a person who's hoping to work for these companies. But damn, it's like, it just sounds like they really will like underhand someone of color, like, you know, in a minute, just so like they don't, you know. And they say like, and like they also send out statements saying they're in solidarity for Black people, and she slammed almost all of them except Nickelodeon for the bad treatment. And she was like, after it, she was like, if my career got nuked, whatever, but like at least she got the word out about what they're doing and how it's almost like bullshit what they're like talking, what they're saying and about.
She pulled a John Boyega.
Right.
I will say it like this: like, if there are companies that are honestly trying to do better, unfortunately, there is a tiny, minuscule part of me that wants to be able to give some companies second chances to improve themselves. But like, I need to see that you're about it and that you're being about it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to actually show what you're doing. Oh, go ahead, Darian.
No, that's what I was just about to say. Is like, it's one thing to say it; it's a whole nother thing to actually do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
I think that's what people are asking for during this time. It's not just a situation of like you saying, "Oh, you're in solidarity." like people are like, because I've been looking at the comments, people are like, open your purses, open your wallets if you care, donate to these causes if you really care about, you know, Black Lives Matter, George Floyd, and, you know, other things. And like, you know, but it makes sense, because like, you know, it's one thing to just be like, oh yeah, we support you, but also like, are you giving money to these causes? Are you actively in contact with these people? You know what I mean?
Or if I send in my portfolio, it honestly, I'm not, because we all know how the industry is, animation or not, it's a hard industry to first break into. You have to have the talent and have to know people. That's literally it. But I also understand that there's also some opportunities that people of color, specifically Black animators, will not be able to get unless they have these opportunities to open up. So if this is a time where our viewers, if you're an animator and you need to take these opportunities, I say take it. However, you need to take it with a grain of salt, because it could be that they give you a portfolio, they take your portfolio to review it and they don't get back to you, then you know exactly what they were, then you know exactly that they were kind of, you know, full of shit. But if they genuinely take it, they give you the advice, they say if there are any internships open, or if there's positions that you can do, or hell, even shadowing positions, take those opportunities and see that if it's not a whole lot, like it's one of those things where like those small things do add up, but you really need to see which companies are really about it, because I don't want you to review my portfolio and then never talk to me again, or at least tell me if it was like good or not, you know?
Yeah. Which makes me wonder, like, how inundated are these people now at this point? With, like, you know, requests from, like, because I've seen, like, those mega threads of just, like, you know, response after response after response of just, like, people sharing their portfolios, and, like, I don't know if, like, people have, like, gotten responses yet or not.
Yeah, that's something to, and that's something to also be aware of. Like, if I send you my work and I don't at least see some advice that you can give me, like, that just shows that maybe you're just trying to cater to the climate, which not right, but at the same time, like, that's also showing that you have terrible business skills. If you're gonna use something to help make yourself look better, use it. Like, I don't know.
Like one person think who's doing it instead of saying it is this one you Instagrammer, Black animator Instagrammer called Macro Mushroom. I believe you sent the link, Miki, and she's now doing like little web seminars talking about being Black in the animation industry, and also doing portfolio reviews. And she does like stories. Her stories are showing that she's actually talking to people and giving advice and everything. So I think that's one good example of like, okay, you said you're going to do this for your audience and now you're doing it. Great. Awesome. That's really good that you're doing that. So yeah, that was all, basically that the PlayStation news is all I really have. Does anybody have any other news you want to talk about?
There hasn't been too much on the gaming front, honestly. Most have either been just donating money or been taking a step back from social media so they can, you know, not advertise their stuff while all this stuff is happening. It's the same thing that's happening with the PS5 and all that stuff, like just backing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, out of respect for the climate, which I can respect. The only interesting piece of news is just one I got from a friend of mine who said that there are rumors that it would have been revealed that there is a Bloodborne remastered version coming out for the PS5.
Ooh, fancy.
Which genuinely upset him because he actually wanted to see it, but also he kind of like understood that, okay, yeah, good point. Considering the climate, I'm glad they backed out. That's as much as I gotten outside of occasional Pokemon reveals. If you're into playing the Switch and all that.
Pokemon?
Yeah, there's been revealed the Galarian Slowbro I don't say that right. Has been revealed.
Galarian Slowbro. Oh God, I'm gonna be crucified because I don't know as many Pokemon. I'm trying to learn them. I promise.
No,
but I know Slowpoke, but Slowbro, is that the evolution of?
Yeah, it's the evolution. It's basically a vision of pink hippo with a shell on its tail.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. They revealed the regional variant for that one, and apparently the shell is now on its hand, biting the crap out of it, and now it's a poison type cannon.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Wait. Hold on.
It's like I looked at like the thing and everything, and it was not kidding. It was like it has purple on its arms, on its head, everything, and the shell is just constantly biting on its hand. Apparently, according to the flavor text, like it literally just bites into its hand in order to keep it aware and awake.
Nice.
That's gotta make for a great alarm clock.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, the 3 legendary birds have been revealed as well, as far as the Galarian Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres, which are the Kanto legendaries.
So
the first generation.
Yeah, so they're repackaging the first generation legendaries onto the Galarian generation.
Essentially, yes. They just switched up their typings and switched up their designs. Like Articuno is, what was it? Psychic flying?
What?
Yeah. Psychic flying. Is it psychic flying or psychic ice? No, I think it's psychic flying. I'm gonna get crucified later, but yeah, that Moltres is dark. Dark something. I'm gonna get burned. Yeah, Moltres is dark, and then Zapdos is the one that tripped me up because apparently it doesn't fly anymore. It's basically a giant ostrich.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It's a orange fighting chicken.
Oh my god!
Oh, we got a Pokemon Chocobo.
I am not kidding. It looks like it does look like a freaking chocobo. Oh god. But that's as far as I've gotten, and that should just come out with the next expansion for their DLC. I cannot remember when. Probably is already out.
I'm really excited that, for at least in terms of mine, because like if I raise enough money, I could possibly get a Switch. So I'm like, oh, I could finally play the new Pokemon. Ooh, that's the pictures. Those look pretty. The birds look pretty.
Yeah, they're not bad designs. I actually really enjoy them. It's just the fact that it's just going to take a minute to get used to.
Yeah, it's like I just feel like with Pokemon, there's so many Pokemon out there. I feel like it's just hard to be original and authentic now with the designs.
And I mean, if you really think about it, like what was it? Ekans, the snake like Pokemon. Ekans is literally snake backwards.
And so is Arbok.
Yeah. So I understand you're trying to make all of the Pokemon. I was about to call them animals, but I know that they're technically not that.
Don't get me started on that.
They're Pokemon mammals.
Yeah. I know that people are trying to make them and they're trying to update them throughout each generation and each region, but at the same time, like you can only have so many.
Yeah, honestly. It's like honestly, you have a Pokemon called Seal, and it is a literal seal.
Yeah.
Like, there's a limit to creativity. I mean, I will admit, I've looked at the designs for the new Pokemon game, and I actually do enjoy them. The fact that a lot of their lore and design comes from stuff from Great Britain, from the UK, which I find fascinating, but I can tell they're just starting to run out of juice.
Yeah, always got confused with all the different like types. Like there's like the 4 elements to start with, and then it became more than that. Isn't there like a fighting type?
Yeah, there's fighting. There's a normal type.
Don't they all fight?
Oh god, yeah. There's like a normal type, man. What is a normal type?
It's a human. Normal. That's called a human.
That is called a human.
A human Pokemon, or it just does nothing. I really don't know. That's a good question. Like, why so many, not genres, but to call them genres, so many types of Pokemon, and we can't even explain like some of them. Like some of them make sense, like psychic Pokemon. They can do weird stuff with your mind, but like normal fighting.
Normal is just like I don't understand it either. I have tried, like, they only released like one new type within how many years has the series been out?
19,
No.
Yes.
19, I don't know.
It's been
long
almost 20
time.
years.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
about 20 years.
And the only new type that's actually been introduced was a fairy type, and really they just did it so they're gonna have a label to all the pink girly looking Pokemon, essentially.
And what's wrong with that? Excuse me.
There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem I have with that type specifically is the fact that they just deemed it a girly type instead of getting more deeper into. Some of the Pokemon do have a deeper meaning to them when it comes to the fairy typing, but others lack that sort of in-depth lore to it. If that makes sense. It's like, if it's pink, okay, pink, fluffy, yeah, let's just give it a fairy type.
But make it a fairy. Hold on. I have questions.
Okay, so if everyone had to like pick what type they would be, like, I'm curious, like I need to know which type.
Probably a water type, though I say that very lightly because I can't swim.
Oh my god. You could be like a mud kip. They can't swim in water. They can swim in mud better.
What the heck?
Yes. Full disclosure, I did used to play in the mud when I was a little girl. So that might be perfect for me.
Perfect.
I think I would definitely probably be like a mixture. I would love to be like maybe fairy and dark mixture. I don't know. I'm thinking what comes to mind is one of the evolutions. Like I would love for there be a mixture of the Umbreon and the what's the fairy type?
Sylveon.
Sylveon. Yeah, I think something like a mixture of that kind of Pokemon would be really cool. Just so I can have like maybe 2 OP, but I think I wouldn't mind being a mixture of both.
There is a dark fairy type,
I think that'd be
Oh,
cool.
there you go.
but it's an imp.
What?
An imp?
Say
That's
that.
hilarious. Hilarious.
It's literally called, I think it was called Impidimp.
Oh yeah,
See, I can get behind that.
I changed my mind. I want fairy and fire type.
Oh my god. Oh, that's kind of cute.
What, fairy and fire type or imp?
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
Oh.
Kind of cute. Its evolution's probably not, but it's still kind of cute.
No.
I would love to know, Deanna, what type of Pokemon would you be?
I'm thinking fairy and grass type.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Awesome.
I would obviously be normal type with a briefcase and a 9 to 5.
No.
You can be a Meowth then. They have money.
Yes.
They literally have a move called Payday.
No.
And it literally just throws a coin in your face.
Oh man.
And that's all the animation does.
No thanks. I don't want to be the rich. I'm eating the rich.
Fine. Very well then.
I could see you as like a fairy or ghost type, honestly.
True. I always think either like fairy or psychic.
Oh.
I could definitely see you as either fairy or psychic. I don't know why, but I just had in my head, hear me out. I had in my head
Oh dear.
an image of Chloe as, don't crucify me for this, but I had an image of Chloe as Jigglypuff, but instead of with a marker, she has a knife.
Yes. Perfect. Perfectly.
Beautiful.
Why it
It'll
just
be like
it
an
made me
evolution.
think it would. I just made me think, Jigglypuff, but dangerous.
Literally, it should just be like that. Should be like one of their evolutions. Just like Jigglypuff evolves into like this, I don't know, Wackly Puff, and it's just them a knife.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
I'll be cackling.
Yes.
I feel like I would call myself Juggler Puff because that's where I'd aim for with my knife.
Oh my god. Oh, I have a new thing to draw now. Honestly, I'd probably be Fire Dark.
Oh.
Yeah, because their middle name is literally Phoenix. It'll work.
It would totally work.
Yes.
It would absolutely work. Say my middle name. I just like dark. I like being in the dark, and I do not mind doing a couple of sneak attacks.
Just imagine all the Pokemons together.
Like the Tonberry, Darian?
I do not get me started with that Tomberry. We're not going to talk about that. We are not talking about that. I'm still hurting.
Oh.
But yes, dark fire, or maybe fire ghost.
Oh,
nice.
That'd be cool.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be like that giant chandelier looking Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Just a chandelier.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, go ahead. Chloe, go ahead. Oh, okay. Well, I do have one more bit of news. I can't believe we almost forgot to talk about it. But Studio Ghibli announces fully CG film announced. I can't talk. Studio Ghibli announces the first fully CGI film announced. It's going to be directed by Hayao Miyazaki's son, Goro Miyazaki. It's called Aya and the Witch, and it's name of this film, which is based off the book Erwig and the Witch by Diana Wayne Jones, which she also wrote Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, cool.
So,
sweet.
Yes.
So let's recap. Hayao Miyazaki's son's going to direct this movie. It's the first CGI Studio Ghibli movie, and they're adapting it from the same writer's Howl's Moving Castle. What can go wrong, I say?
Oh, those are famous last words.
My own question is this: what happened to the Caterpillar film that he was working on?
No, wait, that's Hayao Miyazaki. This is Hayao Miyazaki's son.
Oh, okay. I was getting ready to say, like, for a second I thought that he was working with his son on that. I was getting ready to say, like, sir, didn't you say you were gonna make one more movie and then retire for like the 7th time?
No.
He always says that, and then he comes back.
Exactly. Yeah. He's a cat. He's literally like a cat. Y'all know that one meme that he's sitting out, I think it was outside, and then he sees a cat and he's like, look at her, so majestic, and then he looks at her and says, you have no schedule. I'm thinking, neither do you.
But yeah, I think I've never this would be exciting to see a fully CGI movie from Studio Ghibli, because all we've seen is 2D, and we've seen like sparses of CGI, and then how Miyazaki denounced CGI and made everybody do 2D. So we should see.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of shocked to hear that there's going to be a CGI version of a CGI movie. I mean, I'm interested in it. I like a good CGI, but however, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Most CGI animes are not that good.
There are some gems, I can say that.
Yeah, point in case. Berserk, Blue Moon Crystal, the first 2 seasons. Y'all can fight me on this.
Oh my gosh.
The few that I've seen that have actually worked out was Hoseki no Kuni.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which coincidentally was made by the same studio that produced Beastars.
Yay!
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. I mean, we have yet to see that Caterpillar movie, so who knows what's going to happen.
Well, that's also because he makes everybody I think I saw like for Howl's Moving Castle. Most of that was watercolored animation mixed with, I think, like very light CGI. So now I'm just sitting here like, I saw a video of him making watercolor images. I think they were concept art for the Caterpillar movie. I don't know what exactly it's called. I think it was Boro something. Boro something.
That's a good start. Because
for a second I thought it was Boruto, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. Boruto, wait a minute. Doesn't that mean salad?
I honestly thought it meant burrito.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna have to look up what Boruto means, because I know Sarada literally is salad, and Naruto is a fish cake in ramen. How Naruto got his name, because Jiraiya was eating ramen.
Yeah, because it's like a fish cake.
Yeah, it's a fish cake that's got like, it's that spiral. It's a fish cake that looks like a star and it has a pink spiral inside of it. It's really delicious.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I want food.
Chloe, no. I would love to, like, one time during this podcast, like, we pull a power move and like, hey, we just eating tater tots. Like, hey, you want some tater tots? And like, yeah, we're just eating tater tots while talking. Like,
what you're saying is an ASMR addition to your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the title of it. It actually already came out. It's called Kemushi no Boro, which literally translates to Boro the Caterpillar.
What? He already finished it and we didn't even know? God dang it!
I'm gonna have to watch it, but I figured mushi might be in it because I think mushi translates for like beetle or bug. I can't exactly remember. I know tento mushi means caterpillar. Means ladybug, so
interesting.
It's Kemushi no Boro, and it came out in 2018. Where have I been?
I mean, we're in the middle of pandemic, so
we're all trapped in the house with nothing to do.
But you think that they would at least like release something? But okay, I guess
came out 2 years ago. Oh my goodness,
2 years ago. What
2 years ago.
Now we have no excuse.
Well, now we know when we can watch it. Now.
Yeah.
Is it part of HBO Max's Studio Ghibli lineup?
That's something to look into.
Show me a small bag.
I really want HBO Max.
They have all the good stuff.
They do.
Yeah.
Like they recently got what's it called? The Boondocks too.
Yeah, they have the Boondocks. They have almost all the old Cartoon Network shows. They have all the Studio Ghibli movies. They have they in terms of upcoming, they have J.G. Quintel's new show Close Enough, which we thought was canceled, but now it's back on HBO Max, and I'm like, now I really want HBO Max. But yes, does we have any more news for you all?
I have one piece of news. But it was something that I saw and something that looks rather interesting. So Wacom, this is going to be hilarious. Wacom is going to be hosting Animation Panel Palooza, and this is going to be a webinar through Zoom. There's going to be various. I'm guessing that this is their way of trying to hold, I guess, a convention or a seminar or webinar of sorts for up-and-coming animation students and animators in general. There's going to be 6 panels, including Last Thoughts and the opening skill. And it's going to be taking place on June 10th at 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. PDT, 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. EDT. So our time is going to be taking place around 4 p.m.
So it's like an animation panel with like what is there? Have the panelists been said yet?
Some panelists have been said. Here's what it says. It's going to be hosted by Mike Morris and Wacom.
I never heard of Mike Morris.
Let's look him up.
Okay.
He's a radio host.
Oh, so he's got that radio voice.
Yes.
Nice.
But I mean, it does look interesting. Like some of the schedules, some of the scheduled panels are the one that takes place first is called Animation Making Art for the Screen, and it's basically talking about what do you need to draw for the masses, and it's essentially talking about how you get into drawing for multimedia entertainment and what exactly trying to gauge your audience and that sort of thing. And I think for people who are especially doing like freelance projects, that's really important because you don't really know what your audience is going to be.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be some other guests like Pete Michaels, Victoria Yang, Carly Melder, Mark Walton, Michelle Lamb, and there's also one that I just thought was really funny, Ultimate Pictionary with Bobby Chiu.
Ooh, they're doing Pictionary online?
Ultimate Pictionary, but I wonder how that is going to go.
Oh dear.
About the Ultimate Pictionary.
Let's hope well.
Also, I was talking to Deanna a little bit earlier, and she mentioned, isn't there a limit to Zoom? Is there? I need to go ahead and ask that because I don't know. Because I have seen.
Is there a limit to Zoom?
I have seen my boyfriend's sister, who's a teacher. She had a Zoom call with her student. There was like maybe 30 kids and they started singing "Let It Go" for some reason. So
Oh, apparently Zoom can allow up to 100 people by default. That's by default.
Love the potential chaos in that number.
And up to 500 people in a large meeting.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
A bunch of people. Dang.
That is a lot of people.
Now we know what E3 might be doing.
I am all for it.
Maybe. I thought they canceled that entirely.
Remember, they're doing the Summer Game Fest thing.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. They'll come out with something.
Yeah. Maybe they might just post it on Twitch or something.
That's probably what they're probably going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Care Discusses. So we're going to get into our interview with talking with Chloe. So we, all of us here at Care Studios have known Chloe. We went to college together. We both Darian still needs to graduate, but all of us have graduated for the most part. And so basically, Chloe has a strong social media following on both Instagram and TikTok. Now, full disclosure, I do not have a TikTok. I understand TikTok, but I believe it's the inferior version of Fine. But nobody cares. But anyway, so Chloe, so give us some background on your social media journey.
It started probably about 4 years ago. I was really inspired by Japanese street fashion and kawaii fashion, and I wanted, my goal is to be sponsored by different companies, so I would start taking photos and tagging places of where I got my items. That kind of went pretty slow when it came to Instagram, because I was in school. I didn't keep up with it religiously, so it probably took me about 4 years to get to the following I have now, and it's still continuing to grow. But I joined TikTok less than a year ago, because it was last summer, so it's almost 1 year since I've been on there.
Oh, nice.
And I've already reached 38,000 followers.
Dang.
And that was the fastest growth I've seen on any social media platform I've been on, which was super exciting. I don't know, because I make different kind of content. I had someone describe me as a cosplayer and makeup artist, which is interesting because I don't consider myself a makeup artist, seeing that I can do my own makeup, but I cannot do anybody else's makeup. It goes horribly wrong.
Oh, okay.
But if people want to consider me a makeup artist, I'm really into makeup. I do regular looks, colorful looks. I even do clown makeup sometimes. So I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to my content. I like to do POVs, which is kind of it's a scenario-based video.
Mm-hmm.
And I do kind of cosplay. I try to make my own because it's just cheaper. I do closet cosplays, etc., and I try to keep up with the anime community.
Right. So, like, what would you say? You described your style as Japanese kawaii style, but do you have any like style icons that you look up to that help influence your fashion and your style on your social media platform?
That actually started with Tumblr when Tumblr was still
Okay.
before they were bought out by Yahoo. So it started with just like Tumblr girls, and then it kind of morphed into, like I mentioned, Japanese street fashion. I wouldn't say there was a specific person, but more like of what's it called? Fashion. That's a Instagram page, and then it kind of developed into kawaii, and now it's morphing almost into like Y2K fashion.
Okay. And how would you describe Y2K fashion?
That is a very good question. I don't know. It's
because people like to say like, oh, like the 90s definitely has a fashion category. 80s definitely now has a more fashion category, but I feel like people are still trying to understand what the 2000s style category should be placed in, like what stuff really defined it. Can we really say in 2020 I'm dressing like I'm in the 2000s and people will get it? Like, are we there yet, you think?
I believe we are. I do have a big influencer I follow. Her name is Dollhouse Barbie. I love how she dresses. She actually has her own brand called Carousel Couture, I'm pretty sure it's called. But the Y2K fashion, I think of like butterfly clips and a big focus on like lip gloss, that aesthetic of flip phones, and especially certain brands.
Okay.
It comes to those fashions. Sometimes baby fat, even.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think of other ones, but yeah, those brands that were really popular during that time. We kind of look back to those.
Like, oh, apple bottom jeans? Is that?
Yes, definitely. And it's usually a lot. It's very pink, but obviously there's their colors incorporated. Cute accessories like butterfly necklaces, etc. Like hoop earrings. I know, and I'm not ready for this trend to come back, but one of the trends was low-rise jeans.
Oh God!
Yeah.
I don't want that to come back as much as I love UK fashion. I don't want that to come back. I really love my high-waisted.
I love high-waisted. I just bought some high-waisted jeans from Fashion Nova, and they just feel so comfortable. Like it hides everything you want to hide. Like if you got like a belly, you can hide your belly, and like it helps accentuate your curves and stuff like that. Like it's fantastic. Or if you got a butt, you don't have to worry about like get the gapping in the back with the high-waisted jeans or shorts. I'm like, I think that's probably the worst thing that I remember from the 2000s is low-rise jeans, because like I've always had a butt, and so like trying to wear low-rise jeans, it was just a sight for mishap if you were like bending over and and stuff like that. It's just but yeah. Miki, you got any questions?
So one of the questions that I have is, Chloe, do you think that your current fashion has been inspired by any shows or just some trends other than, I know you said J fashion, but do you think there have been any shows or anything from your childhood that has inspired your current fashion and I guess you as a
most definitely. Yeah, I was actually watching Clueless last night. It's one of my favorite movies. Heavily inspired by that movie. Heathers, I don't think it's talked about often, but Jawbreakers is another movie that I really like. Also, the nanny, like the nanny in France. I love her style.
Love her
style so much.
looked so much like Fran Drescher's, and I was always just like, still my heart.
I remember, didn't I think you came in with probably like a suit, like a skirt and blazer suit, kind of like the one in Clueless before? Probably. I probably feel like
I believe so. I'm trying to figure out which like outfit it was, but yeah, I love like houndstooth and plaid.
Yes.
I also I love thrifting. So a lot of clothes I wear are not only inspired from the 90s, but are probably like actually from the 90s and earlier decades.
Nice.
So I kind of have different like I don't have one true aesthetic because I'll either be like an all pink one day and then like all black the next day. Totally switching up. I have been called an e-girl before. I didn't even know what that was. And then I was
okay, can I go ahead and ask, what is an e-girl? I don't know what this is. What is e-girl?
Honestly, at first, I feel like it was a term to like insult girls.
It definitely felt like
and
that.
then the girls were like, screw it, we're gonna reclaim this word, we're gonna uplift each other, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I like oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because I recently heard about e-girls like maybe a year ago, and like I was so confused. And I was like, "What is an e-girl?" And then I looked up, and I was like, "Oh, it's basically like a haberdashery mixture of like Tumblr girls, Hawaii fashion, and like 90s fashion." It's like that's kind of where we're at. And then I think it really didn't get to like it people knew about it, but it even got more popular with Vogue Beauty's makeup tutorial that Doja Cat did, saying a guide to e-girl makeup. Have you seen that?
I've seen about it, but I didn't see it the exact video itself because I'm not really a big fan of Doja, so I don't go out of my way to watch her stuff.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh, I see it, and then I just kind of like kept going. But I definitely think TikTok has helped make e-girls more like well known. But I do think, like you mentioned, it is kind of a mixture. Because being from the conservative South, I didn't really get to explore being a scene kid. And I was in like middle school and high school. I wasn't like full out candy kid with all my rave gear and stuff. I tried getting into that aesthetic how I could, but I never got to fully dive into that. And I think, like, I don't find it offensive being called an e-girl because I know some people get upset about it. But, like, I understand when they look at me, they're like, "Are you an e-girl?" I actually had a young girl come up to me when I was shopping at Walmart. She asked me if I was from TikTok. I hadn't even had a TikTok at this point. I was just like living my life, trying to buy my groceries. And she's like, "Are you from TikTok?" And I was like, "No." Here I am 1 year later. I'm from TikTok.
Nice. But you were talking about like you talked a little about your background. So like, did you feel like basically now that you're adult now, did you feel like you can really be expressive and show your freedom of what you want to wear now that you've kind of like basically, I'm trying to think of what the wording is, but like you've kind of been through college, and everyone says that college is like their explorative years and everything. Do you really think that's when you really like got more into your own fashion and your own style?
Oh, most definitely. I dress like how I want to dress, not like 100% completely, but I do confidence than I did before because at first, like in middle school, I was a huge tomboy. And my sister was more of the preppy type. She's 3 years older than me. My parents would be like, "You have to wear more than just graphic tees and jeans."
Right.
So in high school,
that's my mom
actually, now. Yep. In high school, I would get hand-me-downs. So I started wearing like the blouses my sister would wear and this and that, while also exploring more of an alternative aesthetic. and kind of like a mixture because, you know, like I said, we're from the Bible Belt, so I can only do so much and wear so much. And that's when I was told, you know, maybe I should cover up a bit more. So it was kind of like a give and take. It was like I'm too tomboyish or I'm too feminine. And then when I got to college, that's when I was like, okay, here we are. So I started wearing different wigs of different colors. I started doing more colorful makeup. I think makeup was like my first real form of self-expression. So I, you know, started exploring with makeup more. I started dressing how I wanted to, which it's nice because I get to dress how I want to. But then there's also like catcalling, random strangers calling you a slut, which is never fun. But I mean, I'm happy how I dress, how I present myself, who I am doesn't change just because I switch between so many different styles. So yeah, and I feel like TikTok is a way to express all those different sides. Because like I said, I cosplay sometimes, or I'll literally do clown makeup. And I have people encourage me. They're like, this is so awesome. This is so creative. This is so talented. So I'm able to express myself in so many different ways on this one platform. And it's just so nice that people care enough to actually follow me and continue to support me.
Nice. Well, that's awesome. I know you were talking about TikTok and everything, and like I heard through like different sources that there have been some issues with TikTok presenting some racist stuff going on and on their platform. Have you been involved with that, or has it been mostly a positive response being on TikTok? I know you touched on a little bit, but there has been the overall problem with, you know, with racism and everything and stuff like that.
Most definitely. A lot of Black creators felt that we were being underrepresented. So I think it was like May 19th, we actually did like a blackout where users changed their profile picture to the Black Power Fist in solidarity with Black creators. And they used that day as like a way to uplift Black content creators and really give them a spotlight. And it completely changed the algorithm for that day. So you have your following page, then a recommended page. So your recommended page is like, oh, you like this kind of content, or you like a lot of stuff from this hashtag. Let's like, you know, show you more creators who are similar or use similar hashtags. And I follow mostly Black creators, especially Black women or Black queer creators. And I still notice a difference in my recommended page. And it was so nice because it was like, this is what we want. We want to see this representation all the time, not just one day. And the next day, the algorithm completely switched right back, which was unfortunate. And then even more recently, there has been a problem with the hashtags George Floyd and Black Lives Matter. And people believed it was shadow banned because it was showing 0 views.
I was wondering about that because I know that I had heard that there was apparently this thing which is ugly. I absolutely do not condone anybody to do this, and if you are doing this, then you know, fuck you. The George Floyd challenge.
What?
I had seen. This is apparently going around where it's called the George Floyd challenge. This is only from what I have seen. Caucasian people literally literally pinning the other person by the arm and holding their knee on their neck, and it usually has captions of being like, I was still able to breathe, so I don't know what the big deal is, and stuff like that. And as I said before, if you're doing this, F you.
Why are people like this?
And then, like, what they don't know, too, is that, like, aside from, like, the main, like, officer who had his, like, knee on George Floyd's neck, there were other officers, like, on his back.
Yeah, there were 2 other officers. The only person that
Yeah.
wasn't was the Asian officer. I cannot remember his name. I know his face. I'm terrible with names. I apologize, but that was something that I had seen, and I was wondering if things like this was one of the reasons why hashtags like that were showing up as being shadow banned. I didn't even realize you could shadow ban a hashtag.
Oh yeah, I've learned a lot about shadow banning between Instagram and TikTok, and there's different types of shadow banning. The one I'm most familiar with, not me personally, but other people I follow, is the search shadow ban. So to find a user like on Instagram, if you just try to like start typing in, usually it recommends searching for, especially if you follow them. But there's some people I follow, I won't find them until I search their full handle, and even then it'll be like the 5th one down that's recommended that's actually their handle. And then there's like post shadow bans where they purposely, I feel like that's usually more of a TikTok thing where you'll post but hardly getting any views. And I looked at my analytics to see which videos, do well, which don't. And the analytics showed me that when videos are getting seen, only about 1 to 3% of my following is actually seeing these videos. Not even half my following is seeing this video. 1 to 3%.
1 to 3%.
What the?
My following is my videos. Sometimes people I follow because there's, like I said, there's the following page and the recommended page, which is called the For You page. I'm usually on my following page, and sometimes I'm missing videos that my mutuals are posting, and I have to go to their page just to see the video because it's not showing up.
Wow, that's really weird.
Yeah,
I was going to
know that.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask, do you think it was just with people of color that are experiencing this, or do you think it's like it's all over the app?
Well, a while ago, I don't know how long ago. I don't know if that was still during the summer when I first joined. But they actually came out with a statement. Something else. They have been known in the past to purposely suppress videos by disabled, queer, and fat creators. So I highly doubt like shadow banning Black and other POC creators is beneath them. This this is not anything new for TikTok.
Damn.
Yeah, so the only reason we actually got the hashtag Black Lives Matter to be functioning again and working is people were talking about it. Supposedly, I believe the Shade Room talked about it. Black Twitter was talking about it, and a lot of people were leaving 1-star reviews just for the app to take action on what was going on with the hashtag.
They lost that paycheck.
Yeah, and so they made it, so they made Black Lives Matter like one of their features on the search/discovery page. And they came out with a statement saying it was a glitch. But a lot of people are calling that BS.
That's absolutely BS. You can't shadow ban specific things and then say it's a glitch to momentarily allow Black Lives Matter hashtags to come back. I feel like is that pandering? That's got to be pandering. Is that the proper word? It's something. It's not right.
It's not right.
Gucci. It's not Gucci.
It's bull.
Yeah, so a lot of creators are just so tired and fed up with that because there is a lot I've noticed since I joined about a year ago, especially in 2020. There's been a lot of racism on the app. And I don't see it as much because I do recognize that I have certain privileges that some of my other mutuals don't. I am skinny and I'm in lighter complexion compared to my mutuals. And I do recognize that affects how people perceive my content, because I see the hateful stuff that my mutuals get just because they're darker or bigger. And a lot of Black women are like being misgendered. I don't know if that's like just a common thing, but I've had that happen a lot where people go out of their way to misgender me. I don't know if it's because I have my pronouns in my bio as a way to show support that I am inclusive when it comes to others in the queer community. I don't know if they're going out of their way to try to misgender people. I don't know.
So wait, like how do they misgender you? Because I'm confused, like with the fact that like you, she, hers, she. I sorry. What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, her.
She, hers, and then do they just outright say like it or something like derogatory or something?
Sometimes they say things like, I thought it was a guy, or they'll straight up tell me, they'll be like, you're a guy, which is so funny to me.
Oh,
okay, okay. Full disclosure for the listeners, it is not a pronoun. There are several pronouns: he, him, she, her, their, theirs.
They, them, they, them.
They, them, excuse me. They, them. It is not a pronoun. You say it for like you shouldn't even say it for a dog. Like, if you don't say it for little Fido, don't say it for a person. It is for like your jacket or that burger that you forgot to eat or something like that. Like,
oh yeah. But yeah.
Yes, I've been dealing with a lot of that. Or they'll like go out of their way, like the video won't be about gender or anything, like totally irrelevant, and they'll be like, oh, I thought you were a guy, my bad.
my
heck?
What the?
They go out of their way to be like, I thought you were a dude, you are a dude, this and that. So I don't know 100% how toxic the app can be, but I know that the app can be toxic. I actually did have to recently hide one of my videos because there's this belief that there's like straight side of TikTok and there's like a queer side of TikTok. And I'm definitely not on the straight side of TikTok. But I did get a lot of people who really overlap with the communities I'm in. One of my videos got almost 200,000 views.
Whew.
Oh wow.
And it was on track to becoming viral. I had to hide it because the comments got so bad. Not about me, because I can take the heat if someone wants to pick on me, whatever. I'll either delete it or troll them. But it got to the point where people were going out of their way to disrespect they, them pronouns.
Oh.
And I was like, I have to stop this because there's too many cisheads on my page talking about they, them doesn't make sense and this and that. And I was like, I don't have time to educate these people, and they obviously want to remain ignorant.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it was safe for my followers because, like I mentioned, I try to be inclusive as possible. And I knew that if I had like non-binary followers seeing these comments, that wouldn't make them feel good. And I was like, it's not worth likes, it's not worth the views. So I was like cutting it off right there. Like, nope. It's nope.
Right.
So that's another thing about my like content. I want to encourage people to be themselves and to be happy. I have a lot of young girls, especially young Black girls, follow me. So they see what I'm doing, and I have them say they want to be like me and they want to look like me and this and that. And I always encourage them to be the best version of themselves. I'll admit I'm a hot mess. I don't want little girls aiming to be exactly like me. They can, be inspired by me, but I don't want them to be 100% like me.
Yeah.
Like just like that, let them like they can be inspired by your way to stand up for others. and just racial justice and queer justice, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
But also, you're also they can look up to you in fashion and other things, and also you're really cool too in general. So I mean, what's what's the problem?
Nobody's perfect. I think that's the problem, and I feel like young girls are perfect role models, even though they don't exist. I just want the younger generations to have a better life than I have or other people I know have. That's my goal for the future generation, to be happy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I have a 3-year-old niece, and I just want her to know that, like, she isn't got to stand for all this crap. And I think she already kind of knows that. Like, she's got a lot of leadership potential, and like, she's really independent and loves doing her own thing, which I think is really nice. And I just hope that she continues, being that person, and hopefully nobody stifles her. If somebody stifles her, I'm kicking their ass.
I feel the same way when it comes to one of my younger cousins who, oh gosh, she's 8 now. Like she is so smart and beautiful, and it breaks my heart to think that there could very possibly be people or just anyone that would want to stifle that creativity and try to take those leadership skills or undermine her and who she is. And I think that that's something very beautiful in itself, that you want to be able to like kind of be like, you can be inspired by me, but I want the world to be better for you, so you don't have to go through what I went through. Like,
Exactly.
no one wants to be told that they're weird, that they're the weird black girl, because I've gotten that narrative too many times. I'm pretty sure a bunch of us have gotten that narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
But yeah. Does anybody else have any more questions for Chloe?
More questions?
Oh well, okay, hold on. I got my list right here.
Oh, I do have one question. Chloe, earlier you did say that you felt like you were being stifled because you were being too feminine. How does that make you feel when you how would you say that I can't talk. What are your thoughts on that statement to what you've been dealing with now when people are purposely misgendering you, or when people misgender black women in general? Like, I'm pretty sure if y'all haven't heard this, y'all been living under a rock. There have been so many times where someone like Serena Williams has been called a man just because she's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So gross.
I've been called a dude
Yeah,
as
actually,
well, which makes me feel really weird, because it makes me feel like I how do you get that?
I mean, I have to think about that. I don't have to, but I do think about that often, of like, sometimes I feel like when it comes to like I said, the different communities I'm a part of, there's so many different viewpoints of what a woman should look like, especially with the Black community. Black women are seen to be, very curvaceous and like big booty, etc. I don't look like that. Not at all. Not one bit. And so part of me is like, oh, I wish I looked like this. I wish I looked like that. And then, in just general society, how, beauty is seen, that's like skinny and like straight hair, etc. So it's so weird to have to like unlearn what's expected of me as a woman and just, project what I want to see myself presented as, because it's hard, because sometimes, I know that society sees straight hair as more beautiful than kinky curly hair. So I make it a point to show my natural hair, because even though I do love wigs and I don't think there's a problem, wearing wigs in different colors, different lengths, different, textures, think it's so important to show my natural hair, to show that you can do whatever you want to, because it's your body. If you want to have wigs, so be it. But I want to remind people that their natural hair is just as beautiful. Stuff like that is another thing I try to push on my page. It's like, yeah, I wear all these colorful wigs. Yeah, I wear all this makeup. Yeah, I dress this way, but it's because I want to. And sometimes it does overlap with what society expects. And I feel that's something I think about often, because I know some people will see as like me conforming, and especially being a feminist, you have to think of like what it means to be a feminist to every single different woman. Some women are empowered by, dressing cladly and being hyper feminine. And I believe they want to, they should. If you want to cover up and that's how you feel comfy, do so. I honestly, I fluctuate between both. Sometimes I'm like, I want to wear the shortest skirt I own, the most cropped top I own, and I feel good. Sometimes I want to wear, baggy cargo joggers, and that's what makes me feel good. And as long as you're happy and you're not hurting anyone, you should be able to present yourself, as you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely agree with that. Here,
Yeah.
yes.
Absolutely.
It was just really interesting to me when you said that, because it makes me think of like there are so many times where I feel like young Black girls are told that they either need to cover up or they can't wear certain things, and it's always just made me think, is this because you don't want something to happen to me, or are you anticipating something happening to me, or like
Are you
I've always gotten
intimidated
the
by
feeling
me?
it's too grown. Like until I was 16, I wasn't allowed to wear red nail polish.
Yes, me too.
I never
Yeah, I was not allowed to wear red.
Oh
I
wow.
never understood that. I was just told that apparently like it's too, quote, it's too grown for a Black girl who's not above the age of 16 to wear like a bright red nail polish. And
Or like,
me personally, I always wear blue, but it just made me think, why is that?
Why is that like
or like,
that? I don't.
with me with shorts for a while. I couldn't wear like anything like maybe like 3 or 5, I think 3 or 5 inches, because my family was too worried, since I am a bigger person. I am a bigger person. They were worried that they're gonna see too much leg or too much quote unquote cellulite, or too much of my thighs or something like that.
Did you have to do the bend test?
Yes, I did have to do the bend test.
I gotta
For
talk to my mama about this.
for anyone
Before.
for anyone and everyone listening, the bend test is basically like, say you're wearing a skirt or a dress, you bend over and you get into like the position where everybody does in gym, to reach and touch your toes. If your skirt rides up so much that you can see your underwear, it was deemed as too short.
Yeah. Or like with shorts, if like it's showing too much leg, then it's too much.
Yeah.
Or like you couldn't wear spaghetti straps, or you couldn't wear tank tops to school, or something crazy,
Yeah.
crazy
Ugh,
dress
I
codes
hated
that like that
I
seemed
hated that.
like it was
Oh
more
god,
like
yeah.
it was more like limiting of what women can wear, rather than like us actual safety or health concern, or like they're concerned like, boys are growing and they have weird minds. It's like, you shouldn't care about what boys think. Boys are stupid.
Okay,
Boys
I'm not
are
gonna say the boys are.
morons.
I'm not gonna say the boys are stupid part, even though that's really funny. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ask this: who gets aroused by a shoulder?
I
I
know.
think there's a
Oh,
bigger
that's
problem
central
going on there.
shoulders.
There's a bigger problem going on if you're getting aroused by my 13-year-old shoulder. Like, what are
Yeah.
you into? You
It
go
was like a them
go
problem.
Yeah,
focus on
like
your math homework.
if you're getting aroused by my like 3-inch bingo wings, we got a problem. we got a problem.
Right. Like, it was just like, luckily I never got caught out for dress code stuff, because I mean, I think most of, other than high school, I was in uniforms. And so the worst thing that would happen would be the bin test on skirts. But like for other things, I'm just like, once you got to high school and stuff, it was just like, it was almost like free game, where like they had a dress code, but like there was too many kids in the school to be like, you can't tell every girl who has a spaghetti strap tank top or short shorts that you can't come to school. It just, it's just not practical.
I got called out sometimes, but it was mainly because like I would apparently have too many buttons undone on my uniform tops. Yeah, they were really strict. They were really strict about that in my hometown. Yeah.
Huh.
They were strict about that. They were strict. Even with uniforms, they got very strict about it. And I've seen that a lot of boys would get away with it, or trying to get away with like having to make sure that your shirt is tucked in. Girls especially had to have their shirts tucked into their into their pants and skirts. But the boys would get away with it by doing something like they'd buy a shirt that was too short that they couldn't tuck it in.
Yeah.
And so they could sag their pants.
Right.
So I'm thinking if you're okay with them sagging their pants, but you're not okay with the fact that that my third button is undone on my top, there's a bigger issue going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd like to think that the sagging is more of an issue than anything. I have seen some stuff in high school, man.
No one needs
you've been through the like a war.
Dude, I remember it was like a time in high school where my science teacher was telling us to pull up his pants, but he would not listen. He just told her to fuck off and walked out. And she said, you know what, fine. And I looked back, I was like, why are you letting him go? I looked back and was like, he did not wipe himself very well. He had streaks, man.
Oh God.
That's why she was telling him to pull up his pants.
I was looking out for him.
Yeah. And she said, you know what? Fine. Fuck you too. Just leave.
Fine. Go out with streaks on your pants like a dumbass. I don't care.
I like to think that the sagging is more of an issue than my spaghetti straps and my shoulders showing.
Yeah, I feel like all those different policies, like I said, I was either, too tomboyish or too feminine, led to a lot of my insecurities.
Right. And I think that's what gives girls those insecurities, like having these weird, strict dress codes and stuff like that. It makes them feel like, their body or women's bodies are meant to be hidden or, put away and not for regular eyes, when it's like, it's your body. You can do whatever you want with it. No one should tell you what you should do with your own body. I mean, unless in the case of the kid, you should have pulled your pants up because you take care of yourself. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I feel like, because I am seen as super feminine, especially on Instagram, I still present myself how I want to, because I've had a problem where people tell me I need to shave. I haven't shaved my legs in like almost 5 years.
Nice.
And I was told, I was told that, men won't like that, this and that. First of all, I don't care what men think for several different reasons.
Second, razors are expensive. Razors are expensive. Have y'all seen the prices of some disposable razors? I had to use a coupon. I had to use a coupon recently to get some razors. Full retail price $7.
Too much.
No.
For 3 razors.
Right.
Let me tell you, I could literally post a picture of just my leg hair, and there would be some thirsty dude in my comments. Hey, present yourself how you want to.
Be like, hey, can I get your pictures of your legs?
Oh, don't ever say that again.
Legs.
No.
You know what? If a woman wants to sell those pictures of her legs, so be it, you know?
Right. Yeah,
I the market for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then like I for a while I wasn't shaving my legs, and like I got into a relationship, and like he didn't even care that my legs weren't shaved. Like, you know, like I only do it when I feel like I want to, and that's mostly. And like when I only like it's mostly like in the beginning of the summer. I'm like, yeah, I can wear like shorts and thing, and I can show my legs. And then after that, it's like, well, probably never again.
I mean, my man's okay. I mean, my man's okay with it. His base once he touched like my bare calf because it was hot once, and I was worried because I was like, I'm sorry I didn't shave. He's like, you have hair there? What? I didn't feel anything. I was like, you're not worried about it? He said, no. Men who are afraid of hair are cowards.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, she just want and also like it's just super like weird. Like, is it like because hair is supposed to symbolize, you know, maturity and stuff like that. And when you shave everything off, it just makes you feel like a baby, you know?
Don't shave my legs because I'm lazy. I'm gonna put it right out there.
Hey man, it's an extra layer of fur, man.
You know how athletic you have to be able to accurately shave your legs and make sure the whole thing's clear. And if you nick yourself and you don't rinse it off fast enough, and then the shaving lotion gets on it, and you're just sitting there crying in the shower.
I'm already crying in the shower. What do I need a razor for?
Exactly. Like, I need that.
Exactly. But with that, like, if we must, I like, or you do use those like hair removing products like Nair and stuff. Like, I do that like if I'm doing my first shave in a long time, and then I just shave after that. But like, Nair could be scary because like it's like who knows what kind of chemicals are in there. It also smells super bad.
Yeah, it can be so bad for your body. I tried to use Nair once and I'm pretty sure I almost burned part of my skin off. I never again. I just left it. I'm like, you know what? My legs are fine. No one's gonna see them anyways. It's fine.
But yeah. But let's see. Any other questions? This has nothing to really do with like what we've been talking about, but I wanted to ask, like, Chloe, do you think older people and millennials should get into TikTok, and why? Why or why not?
That's a good question. I feel like TikTok can be for anyone when it comes to age range. I do get concerned because it is an app originally made for, I'm pretty sure, like 12 or 13-year-olds being like the youngest age. And some of the content I see, I'm just like, I don't know if, everyone should be watching this. So that there does come a time where I'm like, who are you catering to if you're doing, especially when it comes to a lot of like teenage boys who definitely have younger girls following them, make some kind of suggested sexual content. It makes me extremely uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Oh, nope.
Yeah, I honestly don't even follow a lot of guys on TikTok.
I'm uncomfortable seeing guys my age make overtly sexual stuff. Like, you don't need to do that. What are you gonna do with all the sexy? Go do your homework. Go to work.
Yeah,
or
like
those
dances. Yeah, those dances where they're like, a little bit of provocative dancing. I'm just like, you know your audience is young girls, and you're doing this, or you're doing like, there's some trends I don't even want to talk about because it's just so weird, bizarre, and gross to me. These teenage boys are doing these stupid trends. Yeah, I hear about it because a lot of people complain about it, as they should. Like, why is this a trend? Why are you doing this or that? And like I mentioned before, TikTok. I'm telling you, there's a distinction. I'll stay away from that distinction. Yeah, I think TikTok can be for any age range. It can be informative. It can be entertaining. There's so many unique creators that have something awesome to bring to the table. I follow a lot of artists, a lot of cosplayers. Some people I follow, dance a bit or just take something and make it into art. I follow spray painters. I follow a guy who does portraits out of paper, and he like X-Acto blades like strips out of it, and it's like a realistic portrait, but it's almost like an illusion.
Oh.
Ooh.
So, it's really cool because, there's some like cosplayers that are younger than me. There's artists that are either younger than me, older than me. But it's just nice to have that variety because everyone has something unique to bring.
Right. But here's the thing. $1 million question. Is it better than Vine?
Oh god.
I feel like it's hard to compare the two because TikTok was originally like Musically, which was where those people were doing like mostly like dances and stuff, and then it became this platform that blew up to be more than just that. Like, yeah, they're mostly known for their dancers on there, but cosplayers really, got a different type of audience to come to TikTok. No one will ever be like Vine, though.
Yeah.
No one will ever be like Vine, especially, 6 seconds to really capture someone's attention, 6 seconds to tell a story. It was more Vine to me was more about the humor and the comedy, whereas sometimes I'll see like videos how to make like special pies and stuff. Like I'll just watch someone like making their little pastries or like frog bread where they like shape their bread like a frog.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So it's just sometimes I even follow one ASMR like thing talk where let me shout her out because she's one of my favorites. Eat_eat. I love her stuff. Oh my goodness. All she does is just sped up videos of her eating so much food. But gosh, I'm a fan. Like she arranges the food so beautifully.
She has like a spoon mukbang.
Yes. It's just so great.
Whoa.
It's a variety of things. And I wish the app itself wasn't as problematic. I wish, the creators weren't problematic. Cancel culture is so toxic, especially on TikTok, but so many, like, it was almost like not even a week apart, 2 different big creators, in a sense were canceled and got called out for their behavior in the past of being, one of them was racist a couple of months ago. 2 big cosplayers were called out for being very problematic. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. But so it is nice to have people to be like, hey, this creator might not be as great as I seem, but the cancel culture takes it too far beyond just warning people rather than like, hey, maybe you shouldn't follow them because they're problematic. It's to the point where like
take them all down.
Yeah, it gets like the point of like death threats, to the point where they like delete accounts, contemplate attempting. It's just bad. So TikTok can be really fun or really toxic.
Gotcha. Now, okay, so this is one of my last questions, but because you were describing it sort of when you were talking, but like this may be a loaded question, but do you have any idea of how you can possibly make TikTok better based on all of these problematic things happening on their app?
I feel like TikTok needs to listen more because there are people who have great ideas to change the app for the better when it comes to interacting with followers, as well as just different things that would make the app more fun to use as well. I feel like they need to talk to especially the big creators, because you can get verified on TikTok. They need to talk to verified accounts, because even big content creators who are verified, face certain issues caused by TikTok where they're being age restricted from live. They're getting violations saying they're underage, even though they're like 20 something years old.
What?
They're being banned from commenting or posting without any warning. Just told they violated guidelines. There's no one follows up with them. So I feel like I need to communicate more and listen more, because they will say something's wrong and remove your video or remove the audio or ban you from doing something, but they won't explain why. They don't give you warnings. So I feel like they just do better overall. And if they would listen, that's part of the problem. That's like the first step, is just listening.
Gotcha. Well, that's one of my last questions. Anybody else have any other questions for Chloe?
Me. Not me.
I'm good.
Chloe. All right, time to flip the switch. Do you have any questions for us?
And can I be a guest again?
Yes. You bet your sweet butt and booty you can. That was weird. But yes, you can be a guest.
I would love to be a guest again. We can talk about any other thing. Hopefully, I'll have more to say about, I don't know, everything.
No, awesome. You had a plethora of things to say. Honestly, I'm very excited about I'm very excited. This was a great episode. I'm really happy you were on the show. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today for Kira Discusses. I want to thank again our awesome guest today, Chloe, aka SNOTNOSEDBAT, for joining us today on the show. We will see you guys next week. My name is Shayla.
I've been Deanna.
My name's Darian.
And my name is Miki.
We'll see y'all next time. Have a great day. Bye. Stay safe. Drink water.
Drink all your water.
Bye.
If you want to support what we're doing here at Kira Studios, please follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Kira Studios. And don't forget to like and share our podcast wherever our podcast is found. Thanks, and see you next time.